He's so cute.
Gosh. Yeah, but he's really cute. He just doesn't ever stop talking. So
what's his name?
Brig.
Brig. Oh, buddy. He's like, I want to know what they're talking about. Someone just said, don't kick me off.
Hey, for real life, you have to stop talking, and then you can look at all the kids, okay? Oh my gosh.
Don't you hate that when Zoom does that, how they have a limit? It stinks.
It's so dumb. And I'm like, and the next jump is like 400, but I'm like, well, how often do we really have 400 people on? It's like once every 6 months, you know?
Yeah, they do that on purpose to get you to pay for like what then is what 400 to 1,000 people when you probably only need what 1 to 150, you know?
I know. Okay. Okay. Is Dad home yet? Oh my
Mom
God.
life.
This is legit, and I don't know where JD is. He's supposed to be home, but he's not. So, okay.
I love it. What's up, guys?
Stop talking.
Nursing in the dark. What's going on? Well, while you're doing that with him, how about I would love to get a pulse on where you guys are at in your business. Are you brand new to Beachbody? Have you been doing it a while?
Tell her in the chat.
On where you are in your business. 6 years. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. 10 months. Brand spanking new. Oh, I just hit Sapphire. That's cool. 11 months, 18 months, brand new. Oh wow. So we have a range, mostly between 1 and 3 years. Oh wow, February. I love it. So are most of the gals, would you say they're pretty new? You guys are fairly new-ish?
Tomorrow. Yeah, so this is my whole this was opened up to my whole downline. So I've been coaching for 6 years. So it's oh my gosh, you guys.
Wow, that's a long time. That's amazing.
Sandals tomorrow if you stop talking right now. Okay. So everyone between brand spanking new and 6 years. So we have like a wide variety. And we're just so excited. So if you guys don't know who Angie is, I have to tell you the story really quick. Hold on. I'm muting a second.
You're scaring me for mom life one day. I'm just kidding. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be like doing 8 million things while he's hanging out.
Okay, so really quickly, you guys, I didn't know who Angie was. I lived under a rock. And Janelle Summers messaged me on Facebook like a couple months ago. And she's like, hey, just so you know, I gave Angie Lee your name, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, should I know who Angie Lee is? And she's like, oh, my gosh. Yes, you should. Go look at her podcast. So I did. And since that time, I've been like creeping on you and watching your posts. And I'm like, okay, she's amazing. Yeah. And then go out. And then I get a message from your girl, Lauren. And she's
oh my God.
Men. And I'm like, okay, the stars are aligning. I'm like, truly, I need this girl in my life. And so I did extra creeping and extra stalking and loving. And then I looked all into Pace to Brave and was just like, okay, now I love her a lot. And I had been feeling, 6 years in, like I have my crap pretty figured out, but like I was just kind of in that funk of like, what do I want to share? What message do I want to send? Like I was kind of just in that phase. And then like all of your marketing and sales and all that stuff and sharing your story, it was just like everything that I needed to hear.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Well, Janelle told me you have an awesome team. She and I have been in contact, and she was like, hey, do you want me to put you in contact with some of like the top Beachbody coaches who have a really engaged, awesome girl tribe so you can invite them? And I was like, yeah. And so she gave me your name, and then I started creeping on you, and like I was like, oh, this girl's cool. So it all started.
So it's meant to be. It's meant to be. So we're just so excited. So if you guys don't know who Angie is, entrepreneur like bad A, just sales ninja, 7-figure earner, like just has her stuff figured out. And I just want you to have as much time as possible. So I'm going to mute myself because of this and just let you go. And then at the very end, if there's any questions, if we have any time, do we have any time to like do some questions?
Oh my God, totally. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll do that. So I'm muting myself for the rest of the night.
I was like, dude, Brig. You must have seen it on the chat.
Hey, Amanda, mute yourself. Let me mute everyone. Hold on. so we don't have this going on. Okay, now unmute yourself in case I just muted you, Angie. There we go.
Okay. Oh wait, no, I'm good. I'm not unmuted.
Okay, you're good. We're good.
Caitlin's like putting a diaper on a baby right now. This is so cute. I'm watching the full screen of all of you guys. I like looking at everyone. I feel like it's creepy to just like stare at one person. So I was looking at all of you guys. But I'm so excited to be here tonight. I teach marketing and sales. That's my boring what I do statement. I'm the founder of an event called Pays to Be Brave, which I'll share with you guys at the end real quick. I own a CBD line. It's called Soul CBD. We have bath bombs. You guys know what CBD is. I have a top podcast. I've kind of done all the things in the physical space, digital marketing. I have a bunch of courses out, and I teach entrepreneurs, mostly health and wellness professionals, how to make sales and how to close sales with ease. So I love speaking to network marketers because you guys, I feel like, have the passion and you have the excitement, and it's really about sometimes nailing down that messaging and nailing down that marketing. So tonight, that's kind of what I want to jam on with you guys, is giving you some of my tips of how to crush it, specifically Instagram, or this can apply to any social platform. And then also open it up for questions that you guys have. Anything from messaging, positioning, sales objections. I like geek out on all things sales, and I love it. So I'm really excited. So fill me in really quick. What would you guys say is one of your biggest sales, not objections, but something that you really feel like you struggle with right now, or you want to get better at when it comes to selling right now with your customer? I would love to know. Tell me in the chat. Closing the deal. Connecting with my tribe, price objections, standing out. Awesome. That's what I want to jam on. Finding new customers, attracting, being concise in my wording, price objections, telling my story, solid posts, not sounding cheesy. I love this. I love this. So one of the things that I want to jam on tonight for you, and I have some notes of things, I thought of what are the most valuable things that I could teach you guys, especially as network marketers. And here's the deal with network marketing, right? You guys all sell the exact same product. So at the end of the day, it's even more important for you guys to have two things going on when you're presenting yourself online. And this is your story, obviously, and interjecting that into your post, almost like micro content. And then also having a niche or a niche. And this is a specificity in health and wellness. And this could be anything from maybe you've had a thyroid issue. Maybe you teach moms how to burn fat from home. Maybe you are really good with gluten-free eating. Maybe you're a keto girl, whatever that might be, whatever that niche or that specialty is under health and wellness. And this is so important, especially in network marketing. So when people come to your page, they know that you guys are a brand and they're buying it from you, right? Because let's be real, you guys, when someone is buying the product, whether that's the shake or the workouts, they're buying it because they love you, right? Not necessarily because they knew about the product first. So let's lead with you and let's figure out who the heck you are, what your story is, so we can create that connection. Because I don't know about you guys, but I buy things from network marketers all the time. I love it. I think it's an awesome industry. And I usually just get it from the girl who I feel like I resonate with the most, you know? And I feel like she gets me and she knows my story. So how many of you guys feel like right now you are sharing your story on Instagram or on social media? And you've done a good job of that? Or how many of you guys feel like you're just kind of like, I don't know if I should put it in my posts. I don't know how to explain it on Insta stories. How many of you guys are kind of like a little bit all over the place there? Surface, I could do better, I could do better. Awesome. So one of the things I love to teach is the from A to B statement. I'm going to put this in the chat box so you guys can see. So it's literally a from blank to blank statement. This is one of my favorite things to teach that you can actually put into your Instagram bio too, which I want to jam on with you guys tonight to make sure that your bio is super clear and super sellable. So within 10 seconds, a woman lands on your page and she goes, oh my God, I don't know really what this girl does, but I need to figure out what she does. Like, I need her help. She solves the problem that I have. I need this girl in my life, right? And that's usually what you guys want when you land on someone's page. You want within a few seconds to creep on her bio, creep on some of her highlights, look at her story and be like, yep, she teaches what I need help with. So that's what I want to help you guys with tonight, is how to figure out who the heck are you? Who the heck are you online, right? What is your positioning? This is called basically your brand positioning. And so the A to B statement is something that, and don't get overwhelmed with this. If you're like, oh man, well, I don't really have a cool transformation. This could be something as small as, you know, maybe some of you were working a corporate job and now because of residual income and passive maybe home kids. Maybe this is you were overweight, now you've lost weight. Maybe this is you were burnt out and you were really stressed out mom, and now you're energized and you have time to play with your kids. Figuring out what is your A to B statement. This is essentially what is your transformation. Because at the end of the day, sales is about someone buying a transformation. They're not actually buying the product. They're not actually buying the workout in itself, right? You can Google, I could literally go on YouTube right now and Google thousands of amazing free workouts. And I could also go get, a bunch of amazing nutrient-dense foods. The reason she's buying from Sarah or Taylor or Liz or Chelsea or Maria or Abby is because they, one, love her story, and two, you sold a transformation. You sold an outcome for them. You sold them a lifestyle that they want, which is energized, happy, fun, abundant. You're selling an outcome, right, guys? So whenever you're crafting your posts or you're thinking of your positioning as a brand, thinking of it as you're leading with you, not leading with the product. So I would love to know in the chat box, maybe some of you have thought about this before, or this is going to be one of the first times you think about this. What is your A to B statement? What have you really gone through? And for some of you, this may be the reason why you even joined the company. This could be that you were super sick of feeling burnt out. This could be so many different things, but I would love to hear your passion behind it. Oh, I love this. Megan said from depressed and anxious to joyful and hopeful. Ooh, I love this. Coach Pittman said from full-time personal trader to freedom at home as a mom. I love that. That's such an A to B statement. That's something that if I'm your ideal customer that you want to sell to, I can resonate with that. And by reading that story, I could fall in love with you in that bio and say, wow, I resonate with her. Maybe I should see what she does. I'm that same person. From lost mom to thriving and loving mama. I love this. Teacher turned stay-at-home dog mom. Pain every day to no pain at all, Sarah says. Wow. Depressed to optimistic and happy. Debbie says lost in motherhood to finding Deb again. I love this. Overweight at 9 to 5 to 40 pounds gone and staying home. Kelly, that's such a cool one. That's awesome. Lonely mom to having a community. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Stephanie Butler's breast implant illness. What's up, girl? I got my implants out too. Sick and cancer, overweight and depressed to full of life. Oh my God, you guys are like crushing this. How many of you guys, is this kind of the first time you've really thought about this, or the first time you thought of actually putting it in your bio? Because here's the real deal. I actually don't want your bio to say anything about Beachbody, because at the end of the day, the way I see you ladies is this is you, this is your brand, this is Ruby, Sarah, Chelsea, this is the brand. And then one of the tentacles off of the brand is you happen to be partnered with a product line, and that's that's the vehicle to make the money. But really what you are is you are this wellness brand, and you are a source of education and information for people and inspiration for them. So really figuring out how can we sell your story? Because at the end of the day, sales is about storytelling. How many of you guys buy Lululemon pants because you've fallen in love with the story of Lululemon that, I don't know, if you put them on, you're going to have a nice butt and you're all of a sudden going to be really good at yoga? Guys, you're not, like, right? I mean, it's just a brand story, and they've sold us on these $200 pants. It's ridiculous. But it's the same thing, right? People fall in love with stories. It's why brands have really strong stories like Nike, Lululemon. It's no different when you have a personal wellness brand online. If anything, I think it's even more important in network marketing to differentiate yourself. So if you're in this space where you're like, who am I? Everybody's selling the same stuff. We're all taking the same mirror selfie. We all look the same in Beachbody. I think it's time to really position yourself with, one, a story, a really strong story that you can start to cultivate, and two, a really strong niche. So even, let's see, Rex Nicole wrote, mom needing outside connection, ready to get back in shape at the age of 43. So maybe her niche in her bio is helping women to get in shape after 40, helping women get fit and ripped, or whatever she wants to say after 40. Maybe Amanda says from broken to financially free, whole with Christ and fit. I love this. So really sharing with people your A to B statement and your transformation. So again, this could be something that you gals could put in your IG bio to make it really clear and to make it juicy and to spice it up. I would also have a really clear I help statement. So this is I help X achieve X, or I help X achieve Y. Or you could say I help X go from blank to blank. So again, these are just basic skeletons that you guys can put into your bio. So this could be something like I help stay-at-home moms go from burnt out to making money from home. Or you can position as your story of that and then say, and I help women do the same. That one works really, really well in marketing too, is sharing your story and then say, and now I help women do the same. So let's say I was a woman that was a mom that was overweight, 50 pounds, and then I found Beachbody, It helped me transform. My bio would say, I went from 50 pounds overweight, sluggish mom to fit and abundant, or fit and feeling amazing. And now I help women do the same, right? Just sharing a little bit of my story and then infusing that I have a sense of credibility to now help people do the same. And this is essentially expert positioning. And I know that can be really hard for some women because you feel this sense of like, I don't know, how many of you guys feel imposter syndrome sometimes? Like, who am I to help people? Am I good enough? I'm not certified as a fitness coach. And I think a lot of that's bull crap, because I think that you could be certified up the wazoo in a ton of wellness certifications. I went to school for dietetics, you guys, and I still didn't learn crap about what to eat. I was told you should have 18 pieces of bread and a thing of butter every day. Like, it's such outdated information. But I think that the number one thing that makes you gals credible is that you're actually experiencing the pain of the consumer that you're looking to speak to. So really starting to think about how can you showcase more of your story into your posts. And this could be micro stories. I call these the micro stories of your brand. And then you have the macro stories of your brand. So the macro ones are the ones that you guys just listed. These are the big ones that you reinforce to your audience all the time. I was anxious. I had seizures. I had an eating disorder. I was insecure. These are the key stories. And then throughout your week, you guys can creep on my wall where I do this, or other people's walls where they infuse little micro stories. And this could be the little stories of your week where you're sharing a lesson you learned at the grocery store with your kids or something small. But I do think you gals should have 1 to 3 really big macro brand stories that you memorize, and you rotate this over and over. Because as new people come to your page, they don't know who you are and they don't know what you've really gone through. And so it's important to keep reinforcing that in your posts. I'm an overwhelmed and self-conscious mom to a patient and confident boss mama. I love this. Lost empty nester to hopeful and active second half of life. Oh, this is good. Completely out of shape to becoming stronger and healthier. Yes, I would love to see some of these A to Bs in your gals' bios. I would love to see that. And here's one of the biggest mistakes I see in marketing. And this is for health coaches, network marketing, health leaders like you gals. And this is something that I even have to give myself a reality check all the time as a content creator and as an educator, is my bio and my content and my stories and everything. It's not actually about me. It's about the woman I'm serving, right? And I know you're like, well, of course. But a lot of times when we post content, we post it because we want to post it instead of thinking, is this actually valuable information? And one of the biggest things that I think you gals can do today to increase your engagement and to start seeing people pop into your DMs and really start to create an IG account, or what I call a magazine that's valuable to someone, is to really start thinking, this ideal person that you're looking to attract, what does she need help with today? What is her biggest pain point? What would she love to see in Instagram stories, right? The biggest mistake marketers make is they make it about themselves. And it's so freaky and crazy, you guys, but even when I mentally make the shift, and then I'll have weeks where I make it a little bit more about me, and then I'll shift and go, okay, my dream avatar, I have a few of them and who I speak to every day when I'm creating content. I think of her. One of them is Ashley. Her name's Ashley. And she's an old client who's like my ideal person that I love to help. And I create every single email, every single Insta story, every single post for her. I actually pretend that I'm texting her on my phone, so it comes out very personable. And if you guys have read my post, it feels like I'm talking to a friend, because I am acting as if I'm texting her like, hey girl, here's some tips for you today. And so that's a tip for you guys too. If you're feeling really stuck with your content and it's coming out dry and boring, 1, make it more conversational. Talk as if you're talking to a friend. Actually text it in your phone and then upload it to Instagram. And 2, always go back to, is this content educational? Is this content something that someone would actually read and say, oh my gosh, that was a cool tip. That was a cool life hack. Or that was an awesome way that she meal prepped her food today. I think I'm going to apply that to my life today. You want every single piece of content. And I know this sounds crazy, but I want you guys to really monetize your content. I want you to think about that. This is crazy, but I love this analogy. If you're posting content that's not somewhat valuable to someone who's reading it, or your ideal person, it is almost losing money in a sense, because you just got an eyeball to scroll and see the content. And if she walks away thinking, oh, that wasn't great, or it wasn't funny, or it wasn't educational, you just lost a potential sale in a sense, or you lost a potential customer. So again, I'm not perfect with this. I try to get better all the time, but I treat every single post, somewhat every single story, but I do fart around on stories a lot, but every single email, sales page, any type of content that I'm creating, I think to myself, is this worth at least a few dollars? Is this something someone would pay a few dollars for? I call this the $1 test. And I know it sounds silly, but I do the $1 test. Like tonight, I'm going to craft a post after this, and I'm going to think to myself, would someone pay at least $1 to read this? Because it's that like juicy and valuable. Did I give away information in this? tips? And if the answer is yes, I'll post it. If not, I'm like, Angie, all right, get back to the drawing board. What could you post that's valuable? And I think that's how I've created such an engaged community that has that trust. So sales is easy for me because I'm constantly giving the best stuff away. And I think that's the position a lot of you gals should be in, even if it's just for a few months, just to ramp up your engagement again. Obviously, you should always be in that giving state as an educator, but especially now, if you're feeling really stuck, going back to the basics of, am I providing value in these posts? I like the 60-40 split. I call this the 60-40 split for educational to inspirational content. Because here's the real deal. In the beginning, people are going to come to your page and land on your page because you gave away some valuable tips. You showed them a workout tip. You showed them what was in your workout bag, your meal prep, what was in your grocery bag. You're giving them life hacks in a sense that's actually helping that person throughout their day. 40% of the time, you can do the inspirational quotes, the cute stuff, show them your lifestyle. That's all great. It's very important. But I think the big mistake that network marketers and wellness coaches are making online is they're leading with the inspirational before they built the trust with the audience. And so there's almost like this sense of, they're like, cool, your cat's cute, but like, I don't care about your cat. Like, teach me something, right? And so it's this sense of like, be an educator first, and you can't lose because people are treating your page almost like a magazine. That's what I always say. There should be a niche topic to your account, whether that's mom's fat loss, maybe it's thyroid health, whatever that might be for you. And make it an educational account for a bit and see how it does. Yes, you can still infuse your lifestyle stuff, but a lot of times that's what I've seen as being one of the faults or the things that we kind of miss in content creation. Another thing that I want you guys to start thinking about is what I call the 3 types of expert. There's research, there's role model, and there's results. So these are the 3 I just put in the chat box. These are the 3 that I rotate on IG, and these work like magic for network marketers too. And this is essentially you positioning yourself in one of these 3 roles. And I mean, what's nice about the feed is it is actually in 3s. So maybe you go every other day and do this. Just an idea for you gals who are like, I need a blueprint for my content. I would rotate these 3 evenly. So your consumer, the person who's viewing you or reading your posts, feels as if they're seeing you from a few different lights. Because at the end of the day, sales comes down to trust, right? Sales is a transfer of energy and it's a transfer of trust. I always say that. Someone will buy from you with 1, if you seem like you're obsessed with it and super stoked about it, and 2, if they trust you, hands down 100%. If they trust you, they see you as a credible expert. And number 2, if they see that you are so hella passionate about it, it's a transfer of energy, it's a transfer of confidence. So number 1, going back to the one about them trusting you, how can we build trust with someone who's viewing your stuff, right? Let's go to the psychology of sales. Someone has to feel like that you know what you're talking about, it works for other people, and you've done your research. So this is called the 3 R's to being an expert, essentially. Research is when you're kind of the middleman, and this is when you gals are sharing like a podcast episode or a book you read on nutrition, or this is you sharing a study, or this is you sharing a documentary you watched on fat loss or something like that, or you're crediting another source, right? There's nothing wrong with that. For you gals who feel like, oh my God, who am I to be teaching this? I'm still so new to this business. I'm not a fitness coach yet. Like, who am I to sell this stuff? I would start referencing other like fitness leaders that you look up to who maybe have a podcast or maybe have a really cool program or something that you can reference in a sense. So you're becoming the middleman who's still providing education on your account, but you are crediting that it came from a registered dietitian that you follow or a doctor that you follow or something like that. So in the beginning, you're going to be probably a research expert. Then you're going to move on to usually the results expert. And this is where you guys are sharing testimonials. I noticed Beachbody girls do this really, really well. You guys are always sharing screenshots and videos of girls losing weight, getting fit. That's so, so important. You gals should all have a separate little folder in your phone. I call it love notes, testimonials, results, whatever you want to call it. And you should make sure that every single time a customer sends you a screenshot of a text or a picture, or ideally a video, if you can get a video of them saying, I love this, this works, this is amazing, or I lost a pound, or whatever. It could be small, it could be big. Start collecting that stuff like it's your job, because it is, you guys. I literally take that so seriously. Every single time a girl DMs it, I like collect it, organize it, send it to my team. I'm super ninja about it. And that's why I have such a great results system, because I'm collecting all of that. And even if it's slow, or even if it's you asking them too, I have no shame in that. If you guys have had an awesome customer who's had results, being open with her and just saying, hey, I'd love to feature you. If you're open to that, can I use your name? Can I not? can I share a little bit of your story, and have her film a quick video or take a screenshot of something. So that's results. You guys know that one. That one's super important. And then 3 is role model. This is where you essentially are the billboard. You're walking your walk, you're walking the talk, you're being who they want to be. You're being the healthy, fit, awesome, inspirational, vibrant, energized mom, or whoever they want you to be. So rotating these 3 on your feed. So maybe one of your posts one day is all about results from Karen, who you helped lose 20 pounds and now she feels like a badass, and you feature her and you feature the story about her. And it could be a picture of you, Karen, the screenshot, whatever. Maybe the next day's role model and you're like, I'm gonna show me next to my kids looking happy and vibrant, and here's my husband super fit in the background too, something like that. Maybe the 3rd one is research, and this is where you're giving away some actual action items in your post. You guys will notice when you creep on me, I actually give away specific tips. My last one's a sales tips post, and I did that intentionally because I wanted to put some more research content or some more educational content on my feed. So when someone reads it, they feel like, wow, I'm gonna actually take notes on this, or I'm gonna take this and screenshot it. The money maker to growing on anything organically, I've never paid for an ad to grow for events, anything I've sold yet, which is crazy. I just got lazy and didn't run Facebook ads, but I've intentionally created niche specific educational content that I know that a woman is going to screenshot and then share with her friend, or she's going to tag me in it. And that's how I've grown organically. And I think that's how most of you gals are going to grow, is that you'll post something on your account. This could be a recipe, it could be a workout, it could be a life hack, how you make your coffee in the morning, something that's small but valuable to another woman, and she's going to then share it or tag it or share with her friends, right? So really going back to educational content. I know that sounds so kind of like boring and dry. You can still make it fun, but I really challenge you gals to definitely do that. Before I go more into niche and bio, give me your questions so far. Shay says, do you recommend 1 post a day and then more in stories? So what I have seen, studying my analytics a bit, I've seen that a post a day does well, but I actually have seen that every other day is still very healthy for the account and the algorithm. What I have seen is that stories every day is the healthiest, just because Instagram's really pushing for people to be using stories and to be using the engagement features on there. So even if this is only 5 days a week, you don't have to do it as crazy as I do. I just really love it and I'm obsessed. But if you're not obsessed, that's okay. I would try to at least once a day really quick when you have 5 minutes. 1, learn how to document your day. So if you're making the smoothie or you're making whatever it is you're doing, think to yourself, okay, I'm making this smoothie and this side of vegetables. Maybe I can give them a tip about why I do this, making it educational versus just like taking a picture of a pretty smoothie. I would find, at least if you can, Shay and all the gals on, I would find time to at least post some sort of quick tip or a quote or a book you're loving right now, something like that a day if you can, if you have 5 seconds to post a few 15-second stories. And guys, a ninja tip too is you don't have to post in real time. Yes, I think it's the whole point of it is to make it real-time content, but honestly, if I'm out somewhere and I see something interesting and funny or educational, and I think to myself, wow, this would be valuable to the woman that I talk to every day, I post it, I obviously take it, and then I'm present in the moment with whoever I'm with, and then I upload it later. So that's an idea for you gals who are so busy and you're like, oh my God, I don't have time to do it every day. If you're a mom and you're busy, I would get a bunch of content maybe on Sunday, you have 30 minutes and you're like, cool, what life hacks do I have around my house that I could show them? Or what cool things am I doing this week to stay fit? Get all the content, save it in your phone, and then upload it Monday morning when you have time. Something like that. I think just getting savvy with batch creating content is really, really the secret with it. Oh no, bye Kaylin, see you. Yeah, that's a ninja tip. And something that I've seen do really, really well too with the bios actually. I wonder if, let's see, maybe you could share your screen like that, or maybe I can, let me see. Okay, you guys know on IG, if you guys look at your IG right now, you'll see, so like next to my name is the word sales ninja. This is just a little like algorithm searchability hack for you gals if you're wanting to grow on IG. Because I assume a lot of you gals are wanting to grow on IG, yes? Say yes in the comments if yes. I put that there intentionally because it's a keyword. So tonight, a little hack that you guys can do is to put a keyword there. If you guys have not already put a keyword there, you'll see at mine, I put sales ninja because I want someone who's putting the word sales into the search bar on IG to find me and I come up. So if I type in right now, even like keto mom, or if I put in like mom fat loss, let's see if I type that in, let's say I'm a mom and that's what I'm looking for. I actually even like this more than hashtags, guys. Mom fat loss. Let's see, is anybody putting it after their name? Basically, you're picking a key term Oh yeah, some girl pops up. You're picking a key term that your customer is going, language, and what is your customer actually, what does she actually want from your page? Choosing a term that she's actually searching and looking for. Cool. Yes. Awesome. So that's great. You guys can put, even right now, maybe health and wellness coach. You guys could put fitness coach. You could put fat loss for moms coach. You could put HIIT and intermittent fasting coach, if that's your niche, right? I'm just trying to figure out if you guys have a specific niche. I would definitely put that in there. So another great question. Do I suggest Linktree? I do, but don't put 500 links in the Linktree. That would be my only suggestion. Is a confused customer walks away, right? So one of my best tips for you gals is to make sure that when you're in a season of promotion, you're focused on that one thing and you're promoting that one thing for a bit. I think it's so healthy to have that narrow focus and to sell less, but sell that less better. And what I mean by that is I don't have 50 million offers. And I do that intentionally because when I'm focused on selling one thing, I'm in the zone and I'm selling that one thing, and that's all I talk about for 4 to 6 weeks. And then I rotate, like a season, I rotate, and then I bring in a new offer and a new thing that I'm talking about. But I'm very intentional with where the focus is going, because you kind of have to pretend that your customer is way more confused than you, because they are. They don't know it. They don't know what you do. They're not in your head, right? And so almost making it easy for them to buy from you, easy for them to work with you. And so ideally, I would have you gals have one link in your bio, maybe 2 to 3 max, where you're driving her somewhere where she can get on a call with you. She can fill out a form. She can, I wouldn't say like DM you. I would say something like booking a call, or she can go through maybe a 5-day free something. So you can grab her email and list builds. I think that's really important for you guys to keep your CTAs really, really specific and have 1, maybe 2 at a time. So right now, whatever season you guys are in, let's see, it's mid-August. What season are you in? Are you in more of a team building season? Are you more in a product pushing season? What season are you in your business? What's really the focus for you right now? You guys can answer me in the chat if you want. But I think that's a healthy thing to assess. And what I do is I have like all these like big sticky notes up here in my house, like on the wall. I assess what season I'm in with my business. And then I work backwards and I say, okay, Ange, that's what you're focused on for the next 4 weeks. What type of content would tease or breadcrumb that offer? So then they're starting to hear about it and there's awareness around it. So then when it comes to the time to ask for it, they're not confused. They're like, oh, you've been giving tips about that, or you've been talking about that. So for you guys who are in the team building phase, I think having that content be around, if the passion is residual income, if it's working from home, if it's the benefits of leaving your 9 to 5, I would make the content focused around that, right? I'd make it heavy on that. So then when you're making the ask to join the team, they've already kind of been sold on the fact that you have all of this credibility and confidence around how joining this team is going to change their life. So that's definitely what I would do. I think it's healthy for network marketers to go in seasons where it's more the business side, team building, and then maybe it's more the product, the wellness side. I think that's very healthy because you guys have 2 different things going on most of the time. Angie, do you have thoughts on what posts get better engagement? I know Shalene Johnson said videos, carousel posts, something that keeps people on your post. So what I've seen is 2 things. One, IGTV is really hot right now. It's doing really well. So you gals can do this from your iPhone, selfie mode. Maybe it's tomorrow you film the top 5 tips to making a low calorie sandwich. Like guys, it could literally be something that you're like, that's so silly, but whoever it is you're wanting to speak to could find it helpful in her day. You film that, put it into IGTV, add some quick tips. But what I've seen do really, really well is one, a colored bright photo. And this is usually a selfie. This is usually your face because people want to know who they're following, right? Start showing your face. I've seen that do well, plus a micro bloggy post. And what I mean by that is something where you gave information. It wasn't just like a picture of you outside in the dark and you're like, hashtag wellness, right? Like there was actually like thought or there was effort put into the post. Each of my posts, you guys, they take me like 2 hours. I know that sounds maybe a little crazy, but they do. And I actually do it in this really cool app called Bear. It's called Bear, BEAR. Super cool. I think it was like $15 for the whole year. It visually is really nice. It helps me craft and draft them all out. And so when I'm on a run or I get a hit of inspiration about, oh my God, that would be helpful for the girl I'm speaking to. This is something that happened to me this week. Or, oh, you know what? I'm out at the grocery store. This is a cool tip. I'm going to give this to her. I I take my app, I put it in there, and then I have my next 16 posts. So next month worth of posts that are all in here already. I just need to now find the picture or take the selfie or do whatever to match the picture with the post. So that's an app idea if you guys want something that makes it so you can space it out and make it look really nice too, which is great. I have found that to be huge. And I think knowing what you guys are, knowing the CTA is going to be huge for you guys too. And then as far as, there was a good question above. I call this the sandwich formula. I want to share this with you guys. You guys were asking, Amanda said, what posts get better engagement? So this is like this is how I literally craft my posts. This is the skeleton that I use. I've done a podcast on this, so you guys can go back and listen to it. I don't know what number it is because I don't number them, but you'll find it. I'll find it for you guys and send it to you. But hook. So the first line is a hook. This is like a juicy pain point question. It's the shock factor. It's what literally gets someone to stop their scroll. So this could be like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to me. Or it's a stat or a story or the climax of the story that you're about to share with someone. So hook, I add in a little bit of story for a resonation point. So they feel like they emotionally are connecting with me. This could be 1 to 2 sentences. It doesn't have to be a huge story. So I'll go hook, story, and then I ask a question and I call this the do you feel me on this? And you could say something else, but do you feel me on this? And that's basically where in the middle of the post, or it can be at the end as well, where I am asking the reader to answer me. And I say, do you feel me on this? Have you ever felt this way? Oh my God, am I alone on this? And that's basically getting the reader to create some connection with me. So hook, story, question, I do a resonation point. Then I give 2 to 3 educational tips. I'll start thinking, okay, if I had to give this girl 2 to 3 tips on blank, what would I tell her? These can be super basic. They don't have to be rocket science, but again, I'll infuse a little bit of education. And then I end it with some sort of CTA, and that's a call to action. And again, a CTA doesn't always mean to a paid offer. If anything, I would say 90% of my posts are not to a paid offer. I would say 10% I'm saying go to the bio, but the rest of them, the CTA is to tag a friend. It's have you, asking her a weird fact. Has she felt this way? Again, just ending with something so she knows I'm not just leaving her on a hook. So this is a nice format that you guys can do on your IG posts. That's a good question. Are all your posts sandwich posts, or how often should we use them? So I always make sure there's 3 things that are non-negotiables in every single one of my posts. And that is educational, story. Oh yeah, actually, Angie, I actually made I called it Spark, Story, and Solution. It's my 3S system. I should know that. That's probably easier to memorize. Spark, Story, and Solution, AKA your hook, your story, and educational. So no matter what happens, before I infuse any post in there and I open up this app, I make sure that every post does have a hook so I can grab their attention, because if the first line sucks, she's not going to read it, right? It's like a book. People are like, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm like, no, you should, because people don't read books with sucky covers. Like, definitely the first line of an email and a book is so important. It's everything, right? Like, how many of you guys, if an email is not interesting or the name of a podcast episode is not interesting, you're like, I'm probably not going to listen to it, right? It's like, no, it's so important in marketing to have things to have them catch your attention. So a hook, some sort of story. It could be literally a sentence. It could be when I was 6 years old, this happened to me, and that's why this post is funny. It could be the tiniest story, or hey, if it's a big one that you want to share, go crazy and make that one more story heavy. And then most of them, I try to have an educational piece to it. Like something that they could be like, you know what, that was a little nugget. Like Angie gave me a little nugget today. Like, I think I'm going to go apply that to my life or my business. Doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be the most amazing, smart thing she's ever heard. It's just something that she can take with her day. So you cannot go wrong, I think, in an IG post if you infuse each of those. And that's what I'm really passionate about teaching on IG, is that 3-step system. And then your bio, making sure that your bio doesn't say anything about loving sea turtles and the color purple and your husband is your, I don't know, I mean, you could put that maybe, but like, like I love my 12 dogs and my chickens, and I'm obsessed with the color purple, and I go to Florida 5 times a year with my grandma. Like, when people just put random shit in their bio and you're like, dude, this isn't a dating profile, Susan. Like, what? But that's normal. We all want to do that because our favorite topic is ourselves. So we want to post about ourselves. But again, going back to what the heck does this have to do with the woman who's reading it, right? Save that fun, quirky personality stuff for your highlights and your stories, and and your posts, but I think your bio is the new business card. And I think it's such a beautiful place for someone to, in a judge, you know what? She teaches on what I need help with. Oh my gosh, she teaches at-home workouts. I need help with that. Oh my gosh, she's going to teach me how to build muscle. Oh my gosh, I need help with that. She's going to teach me how to do intuitive eating because I've been counting calories. I need help with that. So I think that's really important for you guys to look at your bio, take out any fluff, any of the crap that's kind of like wordy, or it's more about you, and make it all about the woman who is landing on your page. Go to bio, tag a friend, ask a question. Yeah, calls to action can be a bunch of things, but it's almost going back to the $1 thing that I told you guys of don't just post to post. I think it's good to take a minute and say, all right, let me take today to really think about what is the intention of this post. Intentionality is everything. You guys know this with sales. If you guys have been on sales calls now or just chatting with people about Beachbody, you know that the intention and the energy behind it's everything. I would ask yourself, what's the purpose of this post? Was it to get her to share with a friend? Was it to get just a resonation post? Because you're like, you know what? I've dealt with this thing in life. It's awkward and embarrassing, but I'm going to share it. And I think the girl who I'm looking to talk to has too. If that's it, great. Then put that in there. Like, have you felt this way? Let me know below. Or what's your favorite blah, blah, blah. It's just getting the conversation going. That's so huge. Oh, thanks so much, Jennifer. What other questions you guys have on IG right now while we're on IG? So I don't do a ton of hashtags, Shay, actually. I'm not against them. I think if you guys are doing them and they work, I definitely would keep doing them. I think the biggest thing is I think the biggest thing with hashtags is asking yourself, not the hashtag that you would want to use because you're not searching for yourself. It's the customer again. What is she using? And so, yes, the hashtags that are unique to the company are cute and great for you guys to all hang out. But if they're only like hashtag Beachbody, she might not know what that is yet, right? And that's why I'm also not a huge fan of when if a network marketer puts maybe like, I call this the club lingo. So if like a gal who jumped on in the chat said like, I just hit emerald today, or purple diamond dinosaur. I don't know what it was, right? Because I'm not in the company. I don't even know. But I think sometimes that stuff can exclude the consumer that you want to attract because she doesn't know yet and she's not in the cool girls club. Do you guys know what I mean? And so a mistake that network marketers make sometimes is they're sharing on their stories and on their profile and in their bio, but it's like content almost for you guys to share with each other. Like, I'm so excited I ranked up and and I made the purple dinosaur level or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what is she talking about? I'm not in that company. And so I'm a huge fan of you guys sharing it in a way where the language is applicable to the woman that you're looking to attract and she would understand it. Location tags are great. If you're trying to look for people locally, Debbie, definitely. It's going to attract people in that local area though. I was taught originally to use hashtags in my avatar who I'm looking for. Example, mama of 3, working mom, SAHM. Yes, I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of right now with growth, more so than hashtags. One of my big things that I'm focused on, I think you guys can focus on too, is what could you post on possibly stories or in your feed, an actual post, a static post that is educational, funny, or evokes some sort of action that would elicit someone to tag a friend in it or to screenshot it and put it on her stories, right? And this is why podcasts grow so well, not so easily, but can grow easily if any of you gals have one or want to start one. My show grew organically, completely. I've never had an ad dollar behind it because it was good content that she then screenshot and put on her story and then her friends saw it. And so I think the same way when I'm teaching people organic marketing, I'm like, wait, if the secret is to create such good content that then someone wants to tag their friends, that's how it grows, right? And then giveaways too. I think giveaways are really fun and great. There's little hacks like that. But I think it always is going to go back to you guys creating a page that's valuable. So when Susan tags Becky in the post, when Becky comes over and lands on your page, she's like, wow, this page is awesome. I'm learning something. It's entertaining. It's giving me value. It's a place that I actually want to hang out. And I always say, these are the 3 E's. If you guys haven't heard these: educational, entertaining, and then evoke action. Before you post something, just making sure like, hey, is this educational? Is it entertaining? Or is it giving some sort of action? What do you suggest when you are growing and connecting? Yeah, Chris is always on stories. Stephanie, yeah, let me know a little bit more what you're doing to grow and connect with peeps right now, or kind of what you've been doing. To help us learn about the rating posts or using Instagram better. Veronica, that's a good question. So no, I don't have one on that. My only one I have is, but actually this it would help is my niche one. That's awesome. And I'm totally happy to give you guys a discount code for that, for bringing me on tonight. But yeah, that one teaches you just kind of like who you are. And then from that, you guys are able to create really niche specific content. And I think that's really where it starts, right? Because here's the real deal, guys. Think about it. If you don't know who you're talking to, of course it's impossible to create content. Of course it's impossible to get engagement because it's kind of all over the place. And that's why I geek out over niche and I'm so passionate about it, because I think once you know that, you can create endless content, right? How many of you guys feel like you know who you're talking to when you post? If you know her, it should be limitless, right? You should be able in your sleep to be like, oh my God, I know what she would need help with. I know what to say to her. And here's the real deal. When you're starting, you don't have a ton of people interacting with you yet. So the very first person, I can like still remember this girl who did this, guys. I used to be a health and wellness blogger 10 years ago. That's where my journey started. The very first girl who wrote me an email, 2011, I think her name was Sarah. And she's like, I find your tips very helpful. Thank you so much. And I was like, oh my God, this woman likes my stuff. This is my first fan. This is great. I like took a screenshot of it, sent it to my mom. I'm like, God, this is great. She bought like my $60 ebook. I'm like, I'm rich. Oh my God. I'm going to quit school. I don't need a job. And so from that day, I realized if I created valuable content and someone responded, if one person could do that, man, I could get hundreds of thousands of people to do that. And so then I asked her, I think I got on a phone call with her and I was like, why do you like my stuff? Who are you? Where do you live? Like, what are your pain points? And I became obsessed with helping people. And I became obsessed with solving problems. And I think that's the position you gals should be in, is like, if I was obsessed with helping my customer, what would my content look like? And it kind of changes the game, right? Versus like, oh, I just want to post this cute shirt because I look cute today. It's such a different game versus like, wait, if I'm treating this as a business, my ideal person needs help with X, Y, and Z. Why don't I create content that helps with that? So then she sees me as a trustworthy source. So then it's game over when I do make the sale, right? Following people in my target. When someone reports something I post in my stories, I feel like I made a huge, aw. When someone reports something. Oh wait, repost. I was like, uh-oh, what are you posting to get a report? I was like, Megan, what are you posting on your feed? Some scandalous content. And you guys can unmute too. If you guys want to unmute, I can chat with you guys, but let me see. This is hard to type out, but I struggle with thinking people might get tired of my story. Like, okay, girl, we get it. You're dead. Yeah. No, this is a great question. Oh my God, I love all of your questions. These are amazing. I find that it still amazes me how many people I share what I call my 3 to 4 major brand stories. I was 100K in debt. I quit college, blah, blah, blah. I kind of share my main brand stories that are memorables, and still people will be like, oh my God, I've never heard that. Or, oh, I didn't know that. Or I love hearing that again. So I do think we overthink what people think when we share our story. I think that we get sick of it because it's our own story and we're in our own head, but people don't get sick of it as much as us. And I think 2 things. One, spice it up and tell it in a fun, different way. Remember different details of the stories that you want to share. And make sure when you're sharing a story, it's coming from a place of, which I'm sure you gals are good at, but it's coming from a place of, hey, I'm not perfect, but I've overcome something and I want to show you how I can help you as well. So you're the guide on the journey versus here's my dirty laundry, here's my crazy life, or here's all the shit that's happened to me. Hopefully you resonate with me. It should come from a place of empowerment and should come from a place of, yeah, it was sucky. Yeah, I still feel pain. Yeah, I'm a human. That's totally fine. But you're coming from a place of, hey, let me show you how I got through it. Or let me show you that if I could get through it, you could too. Such a different energy in the post, right? Because how many of you guys, I mean, when I'm seeing someone post just to like get attention and like make a sad story, I'm like, oh, no. But if I know that that woman's coming from a place of like not just airing her dirty laundry, but like, wow, she got through something or now she's ready to share it, I think it's much more empowering. Oh, yes. Wendy says, totally geek out on every new person that reaches out. So what I was saying to that is maybe you guys are just now getting your first person, or maybe you've had 5 to 10 people who've told you, dude, you've changed my life, or this has changed my life, this system, you've helped me so much. How many of you guys have had your first few or one or whatever? You can put yes in the chat box. What I call your first like success stories, like the first moment of like, oh my God, this works. I've helped a woman and she texted me or she DM'd me and told me it helps. Start collecting those and start saving those. And what I would do if you creep on her page, if you don't know her, or if you do know her, maybe she's a cousin's friend, sister's friend, whatever, someone in your family, I would interview her. I would literally interview her and use her as your template when you're creating content. So you know that, wow, my dream person, oh my God, look at this stay-at-home mom. She's loving it. She lost weight. I would literally write your content for that one person and speak to one when you're creating content. And this is so powerful as a copywriter or in sales copy. Ninja tips to write as if you're writing to one person, don't write to the masses. So instead of saying like, hey everyone, or hey all, or hey y'all, say hey you. So using a singular pronoun when you're speaking to someone is really, really powerful, because one person at a time is reading the post, right? And so that's one of my best tips too for creating content that's what I call oh my gosh, how did you know, are you in my head content? Like if you guys have gotten maybe those posts yet where people are like, oh my God, Amanda, Susan, Elizabeth, how did you know I was dealing with that? How did you know I feel that way? Creating that kind of content, I think, has to come from a place of you studying the customer a bit and just figuring out what her top pain points are, right? And you could even creep on Facebook groups, YouTube, book reviews. There's so many places where you could creep. You could creep on, honestly, you guys could go on Instagram and find an influencer who maybe is already built a niche account that you want in the wellness space and creep on her comments. Literally look and see like, what are the main questions that girls ask her? Or like, wow, this is the response that women are saying to her. And you could take that and then say, wow, that's funny. 10 people asked the same question on her post with that. I'm going to go create an Insta story about that. And you're basically just finding public information and then saying, I'm going to go create educational content around that. So that's been kind of one of my ninja hacks too, is really nailing down who that is you guys are speaking to. Yes, best feeling ever. I love that. Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So story is going to be huge for you guys. Really starting to ask yourself, what is your brand story? What is your niche? What is your niche, whatever you want to call it, that you specialize in or you want to become the expert in? It's really attractive for someone to become the expert in one thing, and then you can kind of expand out as you go, right? It's much more attractive for you to say, hey, this is what I teach on. This is my jam. Become really good at teaching that. And then you can kind of have sub niches to your brand. What other questions do you guys have on IG or niche? These are really, really good questions. I'm loving these. Or something that is like a huge pain point for you right now in the business or with crafting content.
Angie, I have one.
Oh yeah, totally. And what I'll do is I'll give you guys, I'm going to make it, yeah. Oh,
so
go ahead.
When we are like in the process of really honing in on who we are, our story, I feel like a lot of coaches stress out when they lose followers. Like they watch it like a hawk, and when they lose followers, they see it drop. They're like, they question everything. Oh my gosh, that post must have tanked. I can't ever do it again. Blah, blah, blah. And I feel like sometimes you got to lose some dead weight in order to really find like your people, and you can't worry about the numbers and you can't worry about crap like that. So yeah. Like, to what extent are you like analyzing your stuff and seeing what's working and seeing what's not and all that stuff? Because I feel like it's such a process.
Yeah, the way that I do it is, I love that question. I am not a super analytical girl. I'm very creative left brain. I don't know who else here is left brain. I don't know, maybe girls are right brain. Right brain's like very analytical. You like math, you like numbers. I am like, I don't give a shit about numbers. I'm like, just let me be creative and write all day and post videos all day. I don't want to look at that stuff, you know? So I actually don't look at my analytics a lot. I look maybe once or twice a week. I'll roughly look to see what times is the best to post. I'll look roughly to make sure it's somewhat going up. But if I have a day where I lose 100, the way I see it is there's a few things going on, ladies. One, we can't control this algorithm. Like Mark Zuckerberg, who knows what the heck he's doing? You know what I mean? Like, you're almost becoming obsessed with a machine then that we can't control. Control the controllables. That's one of my favorite quotes. Control the controllables, which is control the fact that you can put out the type of content that you want, and it's okay if it's polarizing. And you actually want people who don't jive with you or don't like your stuff to not follow you. You don't want that. I'd rather you guys have 1,000 to 3,000 super fans that are like, I'll buy from you, I love you, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, I'm with you for life, I'm a lifer. Then you have like 20,000 who are like, nah, she's kind of cool, I don't know, but like her stuff's kind of vanilla, right? I'm a huge fan of polarity. Say what you want to say, put a line in the sand, have a niche, because at the end of the day, you gals, to go full time in this business, you guys could break down the math for me, but you probably don't need more than like 1,000 people to actually like love you, right? Like, do you even need like 50,000 or whatever? You really don't, right? I just think, especially when it comes to something like this, you don't need 1 million people to love you. You just need a niche account of like a sub niche of people to love what you do. So I wouldn't obsess with your numbers every day. I would lightly look over them and make sure that obviously the trajectory is it's going up and it's a positive thing. But if it's up and down every day, that's kind of the way the account goes anyway. So I wouldn't get obsessed with that. I would use that time and that energy to go craft a post versus like obsessing about the numbers. So I actually do that intentionally as an entrepreneur. My team knows this. I don't look at numbers of a lot of stuff. I look at maybe once a month. I look at obviously financial statements, analytics of the business, growth, all my companies. I don't look at it every day because my job is not to be the numbers girl. My job is to create, stay high vibe, focus on the woman I'm speaking to, and stay in the zone. Like I'm in the friggin' zone when I create. I'm like, this is my girl I'm speaking to. She's gonna love this shit. And then anybody who doesn't, I'm kind of just like bulldozer, just like, whatever, get out of the way, see you later, bitches. You know, like I just don't care because you can waste so much time on Instagram doing that, right? So I would become obsessed with the customer. I would become obsessed with what's your niche, what's your story, being polarizing. Like I would have you guys all post tonight or tomorrow, like a post that honestly is something that it might not jive with everyone, but it's going to jive with the girl that you are looking to help. And I think that's really, really powerful. Just can you engage and keep connected with what I do with the your fans? This is a good question, Amanda. So how many of you guys have people that are like, oh my God, you're so cute and inspiring, but then they don't ever buy your shit? You guys are like, yeah. You're like, you're so inspiring, but they don't buy your stuff. And you're like, cool, thanks. Right? Does that drive you guys crazy? You're like, Susan, why won't you buy? What's wrong with me, right? Okay, so this is what I think is going on there. This is what I think is going on. This is what I think, Susan. I just want to say, go away. My mother, someone wrote. So there's two things going on. One, because it happens to me all the time. I know this happens, and it's great. I say, so, you know, it's a time game too, right? If someone just started following you, you have to give them a little bit of time. Maybe they're not ready to buy from you. Studies have shown that someone needs to watch you or consume you for like 70 hours or something before they want to buy from you. So cool. Keep showing up, keep being consistent. But number two, what I think is going on is she finds you inspirational, but not yet credible. And this is where I really honed in on in the beginning of this call, the educational content, because you can create cute content, but creating sellable content is different. And I think that's really positioning yourself as a teacher versus just like, oh, you're cute and you do workouts all day. So I think that's where the educational content comes in and really saying, wow, can I give away some tips on my account? Like tonight on Insta story, why not? Just bust it out and think, wow, what are 5 little wellness, life, nutrition, health hacks that I can give away? It can be so simple. Things that you do every day to stay healthy that you'd be surprised that most people don't know about. Like I'll post the most basic stuff and people are like, oh my God, it's celery juice. And I'm like, you don't know what celery juice is? But you forget that people don't like know what you know, right? And so I would try that for sure. That's been my biggest thing when I noticed that has happened to me. I'm like, why does she find me inspiring? She's not buying. Oh, I'm forgetting to share that I know stuff too. And I can be a helpful resource for her. Because at the end of the day, she's going to go then buy nutrition or fitness from someone who is providing that education or that information. Food prep hashtags, Myers Mealtime Madness. What is that? Oh, cool. Oh, it's your last name. Okay, cool. Oh, I love that. Yeah. And honestly, tonight, what I would do too on your IG stories, this works ninja, you guys. Okay. This is, I'm just giving it all away. We're going to have a slumber party. Just stay on for 5 hours. Okay. You guys are like, no, you're obnoxious. If I was to blank, would you be down? Okay. So this statement works really, really well. You can post this tonight on IG stories and then do the questionnaire app where you can actually, they fill in the blank and it's a fill in the blank and they can answer it. If I was to blank, would you be down? I've done this for Facebook posts. I've done this all the time. And for some reason, this gets a lot of engagement. I don't know if it's the structure of the sentence or the psychology of it, but if you were to create maybe, if I was to create a 5-day free meal prep series, would you be down? If I was to create a video tomorrow about how I work out and burn fat in 20 minutes or less from home, would you be down? If I was to share with you the secret to how I shrunk my waist this summer, would you be down? Like put in something juicy, sexy, and irresistible. Something that someone would be like, oh my God, girl, like, how do you know that? Or, well, yeah, teach me that. Like, how do you do that? Do this tonight and tell me what happens, see if it works for you. It's just a way to position and to kind of test the market and to see if your people are interested in what you are creating. And then also polling them a lot, right? Like I'm super honest with my people and I say, hey friend, be honest with me. What do you want to see more of on my stories? What do you want to see less of? I ask people that and they'll tell me, they'll be honest. They're like, I want to see more of this. I want to see less of that, right? Because I create the account for them. And so I think you guys should start getting into that. 5 followers, 10 followers, have to start from somewhere. Asking them those questions of, what would you love to see on my stories? What would be so helpful for you? Or when it comes to fat loss, or when it comes to insert the health goal, what would you love to see from me? So I think those are really, really powerful polls. And then giving them options too sometimes, right? Sometimes people don't know what to say. So giving them options of A and B, like, would you rather see, nutrition or fitness? Would you rather see recipes or workouts? Things like that. Do you do it in a questionnaire sticker or personally reach out to them? I'm speaking life into you. Yay. So it depends. I can look at the analytics of the sticker or the responses, but what's really cool about Instagram is you can actually click on it then and you can see who responded. So, I mean, in the beginning, when you guys can, if you have 1,000 followers or less, or maybe a few hundred, dude, you have an advantage right now. You have an advantage that you can actually control the data and you can reach out to people and be that girl who then sends a voice message. And no, it doesn't have to be creepy like, hey, Sandra, I've been following you, or I saw you follow me, or I don't know, or like the happy birthday thing, right? They teach people to do that. I don't like that. That's kind of weird. I don't like that in network marketing. When people voice me happy birthday all of a sudden, I'm like, how'd you know it's my birthday? But like, if she responded yes to a poll, why not voice her or video back? Dude, I'm so about the video messaging. Why don't you video her back so she knows you're a human and you're not like a creepy dude in your mom's basement, right? Like you're a real account, and be like, hey, Susan, that's so cool that you wrote that. I would love to chat with you, or like ask her questions, give her free help, right? To just to get the conversation going. And whether you're doing that to potentially get her as a customer, or you're doing it to then craft content. My first pro bono clients were purely for 2 reasons. 1, to get testimonials, because social proof's everything, like I said. And 2, I did it because I needed to know who that woman was, because if she existed, thousands of her existed. So then I really literally created content for that person. Again, I'm all about like that. I'm all about that speaking to one person. And I think that's going to be huge for you guys in your content. And that's how you create posts that are like, oh, that's cute and that's cool, to like, oh my God, how does she know that? How is she in my head? How is she speaking to me? And for some of you, this avatar, it might be you a few years ago. It might be you a few months ago. So speak to your old self. But sometimes we forget what it was like to be in that pain, right? Get it all the time. Learn how to use icebreaker.
Okay, Angie, I have a question.
Yeah, totally.
All right, I'm just.
No, I love these. These are awesome. They're so good.
So when I first started, I was in the nutrition field, and I was really posted as the expert, but then I was told to be dumb it down, because I got all the time I could never do what you do. You're always so busy. How do you do what you do? And Micah does a great job. I mean, you want to be realistic, about this is just real life. And I'm yes, you can. You could totally do what you do. So I feel it's always you want to place yourself as an expert, but you're also attracting people who don't have to be a fitness expert, who don't have to be a nutritionist, who don't. So it's kind of
Yep.
where do you find that balance? Does that make sense?
I love that question. And this goes back to, you gals aren't writing it for yourself, right? This Instagram actually isn't for us. It's your name on the account, but you guys, we're not making it for ourselves. Oh, here we go. Now carbohydrates and protein and my fats today. Hopefully I got my 7 grams in. Let me put, it's about the woman you're speaking to. So I think that's so smart that you are realizing, wait, I have to speak at the level of my customer. And I think but I think a fault in marketing, a huge fault is miscommunication. Marketing is just communication, you guys. So I think a fault is sometimes women are here. You guys know this much about fats, proteins, nutrition, fitness, fat loss. And your customer is about right here. She's like, I kind of get it, but not really. And you're speaking to her like this. And so there isn't an eye to eye. And so you're creating this awesome content, but it doesn't resonate with someone because they're like, what? What is she talking about? Carbohydrates? I don't know what she's talking about. And so going to the level, you're essentially talking about going not down necessarily, but speaking at the level of the consumer and what she's ready for. What does she know? Does she even know what macros are? Does she know what intermittent fasting is or something like that? Does she know those things? So I do think that is a good point that you brought up, that sometimes it is important to speak to the woman and meet her where she's at. Everybody write down in the chat box, meet your customer where they are at, guys. because they may not be ready to be like ripped with an 8-pack and like be like waking up at 5 a.m. drinking her mom crack, like doing her, you know, like she's just like, what is going on right now? This is way too much, right? So you have to meet her where she's at. What is the next step that she is ready for that will eventually get her closer? But what is that very first next step? Because I bet a lot of you girls, you weren't like, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are like doing the workouts 5 times a day at 5 a.m. I bet you there's some hardcore girls on here, but you probably weren't like that overnight. You had to get used to it, and you had to like buy into the idea that you were a fit girl and you could do that, right? And so it's really important to speak to the person where they're at and what they're ready for. She might just want some quick nutrition tips or meal prep tips for her family. She doesn't want to know how to do macros and stuff. So yeah, definitely always meet the person where they're at. So then they think that you're in their head when you're writing content to them or when you're speaking on video. That's so, so powerful. Do you feel like you're speaking to her now, or do you feel like there's still a disconnect?
No, I think I've gotten definitely better than that. I mean, like I've gotten better. I've gotten understand like, yes, I feel like I have changed that. But then whenever you're saying like be the expert, that's where I was like, wait a second, like what's the right? So I feel like I understand where you're like, give them 1 or 2 tips. Like don't necessarily tell the whole thing, like give little tips as opposed to, you know, let me go into in depth about celery juice per se, or you know what I'm saying? Like you can, because for some people, you know, like a whole detox, just keeping it really easy because that's, I feel like my market is those just crazy busy moms who just like, oh my God, how do you make 20 minutes for yourself?
Yeah, because here's the thing, you guys, where you are now, potentially, and let me know how many steps you guys think you are in front of your customer. It could be 1. That's awesome. That's still an expert. It could be 50. You're like, dude, I'm so beyond that now. I'm like, I'm just super whatever, ripped and perfect, or I don't know. Like we're all different steps away from the customer. And I think knowing how far ahead you are. So then, when you're creating content, you know, okay, what is she ready for? What is the next step she needs? Does she really need to know about every single micronutrient in celery juice today? Or does she really just need to know where I got this Tupperware to put my meals in? Or does she need to know how I, you know, my 3 tips to staying energized throughout the day and not having a midday crash? I mean, it sounds like your woman just wants almost like the simple, basic, quick life hacks for a mom versus like these complicated things that she's like, I don't have time for, because she may never want to be that way. So
and I've gotten better about sharing where I'm at because I'm back in the trenches with them in terms of fitness. Even though I have a ton of nutrition education, that does not going to get me the results. It doesn't matter just because you have all this knowledge. I'm going back to like, hey, like the struggles of just busyness and summertime and mom life and all that stuff. So, okay.
I love that. And I would cycle those, how you just said, like busyness. Maybe this is a mom, I'm just guessing, because usually you see a lot of the same patterns. It's a mom who's super busy. She wants like time hacks, quick recipes, probably wants to look good in the bikini with her kids and her husband. So maybe some like sustainable weight loss or fat loss tips. And she probably wants some like energy tips, right? Moms always want more energy. So it's almost like cycle those 3 in your content and always be talking about like meal prep hacks that are quick, energy, and like how to look good as a mom and like post baby mom bod. You know, it's like, those are like the 3 sub niches of your brand. I'm just giving an example, but it is meeting people where they're at and creating the content for them and their desires.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's such a good question. Ooh, what other juicy questions do you guys have? That's so good. Oh, another quick tip. I know this seems like super silly and basic, but face to camera is huge. And I know for you introverted girls, you're like, oh no, don't make me do it. How many of you guys are introverted and shy? Time to get out of your turtle shell. Honestly, that's the cool thing about the internet, though. You guys can be shy and no one will know. But I've seen through just coaching hundreds of thousands of wellness coaches and me doing it myself that when you guys are pitching something, whether this is the product, joining your team, as much as you can, it doesn't have to be every day, all day long, but showing your face and adding humanization. I call this human to human sales, which means, again, someone's buying the product because they saw your face, they see your mannerisms, they see that you're real. You can be you without makeup. It doesn't matter. Just you in your element. Your kid could be screaming and pooping in the background. That's cool too. It doesn't matter, right? That's real life. And if you're attracting moms, they probably want to see that. So face to camera, if I could give you any tip with sales at the end of the day, like all of this is great and all, but showing you're a human and you care and you have passion behind you is going to convert a sale more than any fancy sales page, more than any fancy sales system or process that I could teach you. It's what's going to make the difference is people feeling like they actually know you and they trust you. And that might be what it is too for you gals who are like, people think my stuff's cute and great and they like it, but no one DMs me to buy stuff. I would argue that maybe you need some more pictures of you and showing you so they feel comfortable with you. For someone to pull out their credit card and pay you, they have to feel comfortable with you, right? We don't just pay humans on the internet who we haven't met or feel like we know through a video or through voice. And that's why I love video and Instagram stories and podcasting, because people feel like they've built a relationship. Carissa said, is there such a thing as too much face to camera? You keep showing your face. I don't think so, but what I think it could be too much is if you do like 15 frames in a row and it's just your face and it's like a bobblehead is like, today's tips are to do this. And like, they're just like, whoa, you need some text and some GIFs to break it up because I'm getting bored looking at your face. You know, I think that is like the secret is to visually shake it up. And Instagram makes it so easy to be creative. So add a GIF, add text or quotes of what you're saying, the big, bold main points. Don't ever just go 15 or 5 in a row of just like your face and nothing over it. I think that's when people are like, okay, I'm just staring at her face. What is she talking about? So grab their attention with text, subtext.
I have another question too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what do you feel like the ratio should be between selling and like calls to action, really like hooking people, like doing the important things, like we have to be doing that stuff, but then like posting for the mere purpose of engaging your audience and connecting with them and peeling back the layers and just humanizing yourself? Like, where's the happy place between like what you're sharing in content?
Yeah, the unsexy real deal on this is it changes, right? Here's the real deal, guys. What the good news about all this, because there's probably some gals on who are like, oh my God, this sounds like a lot of work. Like, oh my God, it's like, yeah, it's a full-time freaking job, right? But what you do today in your business is not necessarily what you'll have to do in a year. So that's the good news, right? You don't have to maybe show up at the same level you do. And once you've built that trust in that audience, you don't have to. But I do think that in the beginning, the name of the game is leading with so much valuable free content that someone wants to come back to your page every few days or every day, ideally. And they see you as a credible source or an engaging source. And they feel connected to you. So I'm a huge fan of 60-40. In the beginning, 60% of the content, you're not asking for anything. You're like, I'm just showing up for you. I'm giving you a valuable tip. And then she starts to see you as someone who hasn't really made the ask. And so when you do, it's not weird because you've led with so much value. And that's why I'm a huge fan of you gals doing IG stories, maybe some YouTube videos if you want an educational content for you gals who love video, maybe starting a podcast. I may be a little biased, but I think that's such a great way to start positioning yourself as an expert and be seen as someone with a brand beyond just what the one product is you're selling. So they start to trust you more too. So yeah, definitely leading with, I mean, as much as you guys can. I always say the secret is who can hold out the longest, right? Who can hold their breath the longest and not ask for the sale right away. And if you guys can wait 4 to 6 months and just make it like pure educational content for even just 4 months or a few weeks straight and then make a small ask, that's so much more powerful than making an ask every week because you train your audience. You train them. And so they start to know what's going to happen. And so if they see a pitch all the time, they're going to leave the page because they feel like they're watching an ad and they really wanted to watch a movie. They wanted to watch a Netflix series of your life. And so you guys know when ads come on a movie or anything, you guys are watching a YouTube video, you're like, damn it. And so keeping that in mind when you guys create content, it's the same thing. Don't put the ad on too much. And your ad happens to be Beachbody. So Stephanie says, I'd love to start a podcast. Woo! You should do it. Yeah. You should do it. Oh, what other questions do you guys have? I have a few more minutes. So I'd love to answer any of them. I love doing this for you guys. And take a little like, I don't know, like what is it, like a family selfie little like screenshot and tag me on IG and say, hey, so I can say hi to you later. So I know who you guys are. So I can match your username now to a face. Oh no. Okay. I'm going to make it right now. It'll work in like when I'm off. Yeah, her code will work. I'll save you guys $100 on the niche course if you guys want to dive into that. And then of course, if you guys want to come to my event, it's in October. It's called Pays to Be Brave. It's all about being a badass, being brave. It's a female entrepreneur event. It's so much fun. It's like my baby. It's over 1,000 women coming this year. So if you guys want to have a good time, hang out in gorgeous San Diego, a little weekend away for you to just like relax, zen, meet awesome women. If being online is lonely for you, I created something for you. So yay, you already got your ticket, woo! And then you guys can use, stop typing, there you go, Micah's code for that too. So you guys can use it for both niche course and use it for Pays to Be Brave. Just type in her name. Oh, you might be going with a girlfriend, woo! It's dance parties, speakers, Shalene Johnson speaking this year. A good friend and mentor, and you guys know her. She's like a Beachbody goddess. It's almost sold out. Yeah, I'm super excited. So October 5th and 6th in gorgeous San Diego. There'll be a ton of Beachbody girls, a ton of Isogenics girls, tons of network marketers. There'll be a mix of that, and then women who are wellness, life coaches, business coaches, Etsy shop, like all different entrepreneurs online. Like you're gonna meet all different types of people. You can be new, you could be advanced, you can bring your mom. Just be ready to shake your butt and get crazy because I bring a lot of energy. Aw, so excited. Yeah, and any other questions you guys have too as they come up from tonight, because I know I talked really fast. I like to do that so I give you guys a lot of value. Go ahead and shoot me a DM for sure.
I have a question before we get off.
Yeah, of course. Let's do it.
I'm trying to call my husband because my son just woke up. Okay, entrepreneur life for a second. Can we talk about the grind that it takes at the beginning and the grit and the all of that to really, okay, holy, that was that. Babe, come get Greg, he woke up. Okay, hurry, bye. Love you, bye.
Bye, love you.
Okay.
You were like literally my phone. I love this. Oh man, you want me to talk about how much it sucks in the beginning? I'll give you guys the real deal. Oh man. Well, here's what I think. I think with network marketing, especially, I was with a network marketing company from 19 to 22 for a while. It was really fun. And I think that any industry you guys are in, and listen, here's the real deal. Maybe you guys stay with this for years and you crush it and do amazing. Maybe you do amazing and do other things as an entrepreneur. The world is your oyster. Who knows where you guys are going to go as an ambitious woman, right? I hope you do a few things in this life and in this world. I think that everything has the awkward growing pains in the beginning. And if you guys have had a kid, I think you know that more than anyone on this call, that the first maybe a few years are not as fun, right? Like your kid's pooping everywhere and screaming and you're like, dude, I love it, but like, can you not, right? And so I imagine it's very, very similar. And I think a business is the same, and we expect it to be beautiful and awesome right away. And your kid came out slimy with a cone head, right? Like that's what happens. It's supposed to grow, and you're supposed to work on it every day and love it every day and nurture it every day. And that's why I think it's so important to have a purpose beyond just making money, because making money gets old fast. And once you hit that, then what are you going to do? And so I think making the goal about something that's more important to you and making it about a lifestyle that you want, or using the money to live that lifestyle. So I think the first 3 years are always the hardest, and they go by really fast. I believe they do. So don't worry about that if you're still in the beginning. But I think the first 3 years are where it's like, all right, you're climbing uphill and you don't see anything yet, and you're climbing and you're like, my legs are tired. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to just slide down the hill. I'm just going to roll down. But I think that it like finally starts to level out of it. Your income, your momentum, all of that. Oh, you missed yours being little. Anyone else go through that awkward 7 to 13-year-old stage? No, just me. Yeah, I mean, I was hideous in high school. I mean, like, God, just braces and hideous and just, I mean, who knows? It's life, right? We're all supposed to go through awkward phases. But I think it's important to know that it's not always going to be sexy and fun, but that's why it's so awesome that you guys have each other. And that's why it's so great that you guys have a community. And keeping in mind that if you're going through a rough season in your business, it doesn't mean that's forever. That's not permanent, right? It's normal as an entrepreneur to have months or seasons where it's just not as glamorous. But one of my tips has been staying even keel. And what I mean by that is I control my emotions as an entrepreneur, because I'm riding a roller coaster and I signed up for it. All of you guys, we signed up for this. Like, we're crazy. We're crazy. We're literally crazy. People don't know it, but like, I'm just going to say it. We're crazy aliens, right? And people who don't want to do this think we're insane, and we kind of are. You have to be a little crazy to want to work for yourself. You're on a roller coaster that you voluntarily signed up for. So you got to know that when the highs are high, have a great time. Like, enjoy it, embrace it. Every single time you close a sale, have a dance party in your house. Like, absorb it and love it. But I try to stay even keel with the lows, so that when it's a low month, or if something bad happens or there's a mistake, I'm not sitting in it too long, right? And so not sitting in your lows too long and not letting one no or 5 no's this week make you think that because 5 women told you no, it means that it's the end of the world or you're not going to rank up or it's not going to be a success for you. Every single person at the top of your company, I bet your bottom dollar, and I've talked to a lot of them. I'm friends with a lot of top network marketers. I have friends who crush it in it. They all are like, dude, the first few years were not fun all the time, right? And they really had to make the decision, am I going to keep going? And they got to that point because they know what it's like to hear no all of the time. And it's just a numbers game. It's like baseball. You just have to keep showing up to practice and going and being at bat, right? So people call me that all the time. People call you crazy, Claudia. They should, you guys. If your friends and family don't think you guys are crazy, then you're boring and that's not cool. So, oh, you gotta sleep. Baby grandmas. I'm a baby grandma, so I know that early bedtime life. Yeah, I would say even keel, you guys. I don't know how many of you guys are letting the lows really get to you, but I think that it's healthy to almost, this is my last thing I'll say about this as a woman, because how many of you guys are like sensitive women? Let's just like get real here. Maybe someone's on their period, they're gonna start crying. I don't know, but like, I'm a very sensitive, intuitive creature, right? Our husbands and our boyfriends love it. They're like, stop crying, what's going on? But I think that we sometimes, if we hear a no or we have a bad day or a bad month, we think it's about us. And sometimes what's healthy to do in life and what I've had to do, because I've had to find my purpose now outside of my brand and my business, is because it takes up so much of my life, right? Is I have a business and I have a brand and I have an LLC and it makes money and it fuels my life and it gives me the life that I want. But then I also have me. And so knowing that I'm not taking it personally, that's been really, really powerful for me, is like, you know what? I'm worthy and I'm who I am outside of the business too. So you guys can have Beachbody and have the dream and have the vision, but just because you heard no or you're having great, it doesn't have to do with you. So separate it. That's why literally having an LLC or a separate entity is important. And it helps me not only financially, and I have to, but it helps me emotionally when I start to take it too personally. So I don't know how many of you guys are doing that, but I know as a woman, I've done that where I've taken it so personally. And I have to realize that it's just not. There's a million reasons why someone won't buy from you. And there's 5 women in line who would love to right after that one no. So I'm always focused on the next yes. I'm not obsessed with the 3 no's that I just heard. I'm like, cool, 3 no's, there's 5 yeses that are coming in. And I think that's the mentality you have to have with sales, is that there's 5 more people in line who would love to work with you and who'd love to do this. And if you're focused on the people who said no, yeah, like Amanda just said, then the energy is going to be the vicious cycle of no. And energy is everything with sales. Sales is a transfer of energy. People can feel it in your stories. They can feel it in your posts. They can feel it on sales calls. They can feel if you're feeling like it's desperation or you're feeling like you're in this needy, sad place versus like, I'm focused on that this is going to work. I know it's going to work. It is going to work. That's the only option. They can feel that energy for sure. Mine mostly say no because they do keto. They're not your people then. Yeah, they're not your people then if you're not teaching keto. So, oh my God, so fun. You guys were such a cool, fun group. I hope to see you guys at Pays to Be Brave. Use that code for sure to save money. Any questions at all about Pays to Be Brave or my niche course, shoot me a DM. I answer my DMs. I try to get through them all. I'll voice you back or say hey to you. So I love you guys. I hope this was helpful for you and you guys can take something with it. And
this was so good. Seriously, thank you so much for taking
you're so welcome.
But this is incredible. You guys, I'm not kidding you. I'll be at the event. I know a bunch of my girls will be at the event. Get to her event. It will be worth it. It'll be worth the time. She even has childcare there. So you don't have any excuses.
It's me watching your kid.
Right? In between speaking.
Funny story. You moms will love this. Last year, this lady goes up to me and she's like, oh my God, I love your show. And this is my son and he wants to meet you. And her little son, he's like 6 years old. He's like, I thought you were going to be babysitting me this weekend. Because his mom plays my show in the car and he heard my voice and he's like, Mom, I hope Angie Lee watches me this weekend. I'm like, how cute is it? He thought his mom was getting on a plane to take him so I could babysit him.
That's the best ever.
I died. I was like so emotional at the end. I was like, this is the best moment of my life. So tell your kids it's not me, you guys. But yeah, we have daycare and I hope to see you guys there. Thanks so much,
you guys. Thank you. And listen to all of our podcasts, all of them, because they're so good. Okay. All right. Bye, you guys.